Hey all, and welcome to a day 1 basic Sombra tutorial for dummies. Now if you have no idea what Sombra's kit does, or if you simply want to know some starter strategies or some starter tips, and then you came to the right place. That said, if you came here expecting some top of the line advanced guidance material that's probably going to come out later, then you're just sadly mistaken. This is being made for starters to the character. Of course, I'll try to come out with an advanced guide in the future, but for now, just wait and enjoy the starter material. I mean, we can't all become pros in the first 24 hours, or I guess 48 hours, that a character's been released. Anyways, as well, since I'm making this ASAP, the gameplay will not really match 100% what I'm saying, or really match it way too well at all, so don't focus on the background gameplay way too much. Listen to my voice a lot more, try to pick up what I'm saying from that, not my day 1 gameplay. Now, for an advanced guide, I'll try to get some better footage, some stuff that's closer to the match, and stuff that's closer to the stuff I'm talking about, but for a quick guide, just kinda listen. Anyways, let's start with her playstyle, and basically how to play Sombra. So, for the Just a Sombra's playstyle, at least in my own opinion, in the power that she has right in this very patch, you should play her a little bit more as a disruptor type character, getting behind enemy lines and being kinda just a pain in the back overall to your foes. Now, how is this exactly done? Well, let's look at her abilities in order to see. So, first she has her right click called Hack. Now this ability creates a medium range tether, sorta like Symmetra, that once held on the enemy for at least a few seconds, stops the ability for them to use all of their abilities for 6 seconds. Now with this said, it does not stop gunfire, so don't be an idiot going in for these hacks. Try to stay out of the way, and get these sneakily when the enemy doesn't expect you, or try to go for a hack in a hectic fight on a top priority target like a Mercy with her ult to stop her from using it. Now as well with this, you can also hack health packs so that only your team can use them, and the health packs will recharge much faster. Now you could use these hacked health packs to supply your team a lot of HP, or as well with that, you could just try to use these to piss off the enemy team by not allowing them to heal. Very useful in particular after you have taken out the enemy supports, and very useful for characters like Tracer that really need full health in order to do very well. As well with this, the healing can also really give you some of the highest healing on your team. Often I've been able to get 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 healing on your team, and for being an attack hero, that's really impressive. For her next way to disrupt, we got her ability Shift, an invisibility cloak. Now, while this doesn't directly disrupt the enemy team, it does allow a lot of opportunities to do so, and that's the really main thing about this. This thing lets you go invisible for about 6 seconds, getting a huge movement speed, as well as being impossible for the enemies to see you, which is of course very nice. Now this allows you to get in the back lines of the enemies, or get right next to the enemies, and when comboed with her hack or with her ultimate, it does really big work. Now one thing to note is that if you do get shot at all while you're using this ability, you can instantly be seen, and of course Widow's ult does also see you, so do be careful with this. Her E is in a very similar boat to her invis, that being that it doesn't technically do anything to the enemy team directly, but it does allow you to position yourself to have your hacking be much greater in effect, or to use your gun if you want to go that route. Anyways, your E is a teleporter that you can put down that lasts for 15 seconds, or I guess you throw it down. You can press this ability 1 second after throwing it, or all 15 seconds after, which is also a very nice function. Now this move gives you 2 primary functions. Either a quick escape that you can just throw and then use to get some distance against a foe, or a thing that you can throw behind your enemies, wait about 10 seconds, and then use it in order to get behind the enemies and then gank your enemies. Anyways, it is of great use, so do make sure to use this. Finally, we got her ult, the EMP. Now this is an ability that has an average charge time, but a huge effect. It applies her hack effect on everybody hit within the radius of it, and what this means is that there's no ults, no shifts, no right clicks to anyone hit within the EMP of your ultimate. Also, if I forgot to mention this earlier, the EMP breaks all shields, be it a Reinhardt shield, or a Zarya natural shield, or a Zenyatta natural shield, which is really amazing. Now as well with this, it lasts a whole 6 seconds, so if you can get this on all 6 of the enemy team and your team's ready to go in, you can pretty much win any team fight. From there, they can't do anything to counter your engage, and you can probably just wipe the enemy team. Now, of course, the easiest way to do this is just run behind the enemy lines with your shift, wait for it to finish its cooldown, and then when you get your invisibility again, you can run slightly behind the enemy team. From there, go uninvis and use your ultimate, and go and murder anybody who you possibly can, or if you place any earlier, you can use that to get out of the way right before the fight happens so you don't get picked off 6v1 with their regular guns. Now overall, this ult is amazing if timed with a great team, but you gotta remember that if no one goes in with your ult, it does no damage, so it'll really do nothing at all if your team isn't ready to go in. Overall though, her ult and hack combined with her movement and sneak abilities allow for a lot of ways to get around and a lot of ways to do trouble to the enemy. Now I will say that this is kind of a weird playstyle to get used to, but in the right situations it can really do some work. Also, before I skip over this and get into the next section, I also think her DPS is pretty darn good. Now, it doesn't really kill as fast as someone like Soldier, and essentially her gun is just a nerf version of Soldier's gun, as it's pretty much just his gun with more spread, but 60 bullets instead. She does do decent work against any support or any tank, but she isn't quite as fast as an assassin compared to all the other assassin type characters in this game, as she doesn't really have any burst or any abilities that actually do damage. Now, with this being said, it can still be very useful to use your gun versus anyone, and it's pretty good at medium range. But I'd say, moreover, focus on your other abilities, try to get good at, just kind of harassing the team with your gun, I guess, but that's not really your main playstyle. You aren't really just a main DPS like a lot of the other characters in the offense role. And that's the general basic of Sombra. That's how her kit works, that's how her playstyle works, at least in my own eyes. Now, with this all said, I want to also talk about right now who she's kind of good versus and who I feel like she's kind of bad versus. Now, I say this as it'll give you a general idea of when to pick Sombra, when to have her on your team, and maybe when to switch when the enemy team has one of these characters. Anyways, let's just go over the people I feel like she's good versus first. Now, first off, I'll say Mercy, simply because, of course, she's just a support, pretty easy to take down, and as well with this, you can right-click her, hack her, and stop her from clutch ulting, which is very useful later in the game. Secondly, we got Bastion and Torbjorn, and it's pretty much the same way that you can do these guys. Your ultimate stops Torb's turret and his ult, and as well it gets Bastion out of his shift form. Overall, you just kind of murder these characters, and yeah, you take them out really quick. As far as the second support that you're good versus, you're also very strong against Lucio, for the simple fact that when Lucio ults and you ult, your ultimate actually breaks the shield of Lucio ults, and if he happens to not ult, and you go for your ult and you hit Lucio, well then, he can't ult for the next 6 seconds. Overall, you either break a shield or just stop him from going in the first place, and I feel like you're a really big counter to this guy. As far as Zarya, if you can get behind her, and if she doesn't know that you're coming and you go for your ultimate, you can really take her out and do a ton of damage to her. First off, it makes it that she can't use her shift or her E to get really defensive, and as well, it gets rid of 200 of her HP, of her shield HP, that she naturally has, which is as well really great. Now, of course, if the Zarya happens to know you're there, or the Zarya is ready for you, she can press shift and it will block your ultimate and she will keep all of her HP. But if she's not ready, you can really take her out and do a huge amount of damage to this character. Now to who kind of counters you, or at least you're not very great against. First off, we have McCree. Now with this person, when you hack him, you stop his flashbang, you stop his E, but you don't stop his Peacemaker. With his Peacemaker, he has better close range, better far range, it's just really hard to take him out, and overall, don't go way too ham on McCree's. Soldier 76 is as well in a similar boat. First off, you can't hack his ultimate. As well with that, his gun is essentially just an upgraded version of your gun with a lot less bullet spread, and if you don't happen to hack him and you just have a regular 1v1, his right click and his E will give him a huge advantage versus you. And yeah, I'd say stay a little bit away from this guy. Now, for Winston, again, hacking him really doesn't do way too much, and he can easily quite follow you even when he is hacked. As well with that, his left click finds you super easily while you're invised, and don't even think about trying to shift away while he's hitting you, as the multi-hit would just keep you uninvised, and you're just gonna die to him. Finally, for Widowmaker, she just has her ult, and ouch, that really hurts. As well, the range on her, and the recent buff on Widowmaker, I just say it's a big no-no trying to kill this person. Now let's go over a few team comps and kind of some synergies with Sombra, giving you a few ideas how you may want to play her with your team. The first one that I have is Sombra, Ana, and Soldier 76. Now first, for the simple synergy combo, just imagine you're playing Battlefield 1 and you got one of those really OP power packs, and that's pretty much it. With these 3 ults together, you can essentially just mow through the enemy team with no retaliation and very little counterplay. All you need to do is get positioned, have a Sombra behind the enemy's team, and a Soldier/Ana facing the enemies. Have the Soldier/Ana ult, then have Sombra ult, and the enemy team will kind of just disappear. Now this is a very hard strat to deal with, as it has insane movable DPS, as well with pretty much no counterplay at range if you did really good with that Sombra ult. So yeah, I'd say it's probably my favorite. Next we have Sombra and Zarya with D.Va, Pharah, Reaper, or Tracer, any of those high DPS ults. Now as far as combos go, this is a very simple one. Everyone knows that Zarya can ult with these other people, and all you really have to do here is just add Sombra's ult in order to stop any healing/disruption to the damage ults that are going off. And from there you have yourself an even better, harder to counter Team Claire. Really, this just upgrades the already good combos from Zarya and makes them almost uncounterable. As far as a jank combo, we have Sombra, Bastion, and Reinhardt. Now, the final combo is simple, but please only use this like once per round. Now, for this, make sure the Sombra has a full ult charge and make sure she's behind the enemy lines. From there, have a teammate switch to Bastion and have them run in position where Reinhardt is protecting them via a shield. Now, from there, have the Sombra ult behind the enemy team and see the Bastion mow down the enemy team, which has no usable escapes or counter ults or shields. It is a little bit more cheese and kind of harder to pull off, but something worthy of trying out. Let's get to the final section though, the quick tips, and here we are with the tips in quick succession. Now first off, make sure to not to start cloaking while being hit by a multi-hit weapon, as it will instantly hit you out of your cloak. Secondly, try to 1v1 in rooms near health packs, as those give you almost infinite HP. From there, also communicate long before your teammates when you want to ult, / just kind of scream it in chat. Don't ever go in with the hopes that your teammates will follow, as often they really won't. Next, throw your E near the enemy spawn or checkpoint before they get out of the spawn gate when the game just barely starts. Then when your E is about to die, TP to it, and you can be behind the enemy team and wreak early havoc. Another tip is to E mid-fight to high ground. When you get a little bit lower HP, teleport to there, and shoot people that really aren't prepared to see you up there. The next one is also to not bother to hack enemies that don't rely on their abilities, aka don't bother hacking McCree for the most part, as it won't really do much against the enemy team. As well from there, I'd say no one to switch. Sombra is a very situational hero and should not always be played, even comparatively to the other offense heroes. And finally, I'd say use your passive that I kind of forgot to mention. Now this thing shows you the enemies that are below 50% HP on the enemy team. Tell your assassins or your widow where the enemy is hiding and go take them out. This is an awesome passive. I really like it. And there you go. This is all my tips, all my tricks for, people just trying to learn the character, starting off with the character. And if you did enjoy, make sure to tell me in the comment section down below. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you have your own tips, make sure to tell me that as well. Or if you have your own ways of playing, go for that. This is, of course, as basic as possible, trying to just get you into the character. So it is a basic guide, but hopefully I'll be able to do some more advanced stuff in the future as well. If you did enjoy, make sure to press that subscribe button. Make sure to like, comment down below. And as always, though, guys, have a wonderful day.